So now that you've seen how great our Lone Star is, we're going to show you how to do the split diamond, which is how to get this really neat effect on the edge of the quilt or in the middle of the quilt. It doesn't matter where you put a split diamond. I'll show you how to do one, and you can put them wherever you would like. So now we're going to be drawing lines right through the intersections. You might be tempted to draw them from dot to dot, but that's not where you're drawing them. Just, you can see how I'm doing it right along, right between the intersections of the seams. And again, you can put those wherever you want. You could have your entire diamond full of split diamonds. Here's just drawing a second line here. And I like to use a relatively thin permanent marker. And I didn't quite get all the way to the edge. You want to get all the way to the dotted lines. So now we're going to put your first rectangle as you would normally place it. So at the bottom, put the corner of the rectangle at the bottom dot, just as you normally would in a Lone Star. And press that down. Now we're going to take the next rectangle and line it up against the 45-degree line, right side of fabric up. And that's important, especially because for this piece it's hard to tell because it looks the same on both sides. But your right side of the fabric would be up. And you're going to just lop off a 1/2 inch from this corner. There you go. Now you're going to take that piece and look where I think it helps to look on the bottom and see where that line was. And you're going to take the top cut mark. This is right side of fabric down. And you're going to put that little point, match it with the end of the red line that you drew, or whatever color you drew. Put a pin on each end of the rectangle and flip it over, and you're going to sew along the line that you drew. So this is the part where it gets a little different. It's not, you're not sewing between the dots, you're sewing along the line that you drew. All the way through the intersections. Now this part is very much like the other parts. We're just going to remove the pins first, and then take the fabric and flip it back, and we're going to trim it just like we did in the regular Lone Star. Just make a nice clean seam allowance with your rotary cutter. Open it up, and again I'm using black thread just for demo purposes. And we're going to do a really nice finger press, and then press with your iron. Always making sure that that rectangle is going between the dotted lines. So now we're going to take our next piece, which is the top half of the next split diamond, and put it on just as you would in a regular Lone Star. So find the arrow and just give it a little quick spot of steam so that it'll stay in place while you flip it and sew it. And on this we're just sewing on the brown line between the dots. You can see right there the diamond already forming, the split diamond, the first one, and now we're working on the second one. Now we do the same thing. Peel it back, flip it over, and use the template to cut a nice clean line, seam allowance. Now you press it back down, and this is going to be the top half of the next split diamond, the red is. So you nice finger press and then press with the iron between the dotted lines. Looking on the back so I can see the line, it kind of helps me know where I'm going to be sewing. And now I'm going to prepare the bottom half of the split diamond by putting it along the 45-degree line, just like we did on the cutting mat, just like we did before, and lopping off a 1/2 inch from the corner. And remember that the right side of the fabric is up when you do this. And I would orient it just like the pictures in the instructions. Now you're going to take that. We're going to make sure that that is right at the end of that red line. You can kind of see that right through there. That's why we drew the line all the way to the seam allowance. You can also kind of see how parallel it is to the seam, to the previous seam that you sewed there. So that's a nice little hint that you're doing the right thing. And then you put a pin on each end of the rectangle there. Hold it in place. Flip it over, and now you're going to stitch on the line that you drew, not on a brown line from dot to dot, but on the line that you drew from the dotted line to the dotted line, all the way across. Right through the intersections, or the split in the middle of the diamond, if you will. And that's why it's called split diamonds. And now I'll bet you can figure out what to do next. We are just going to pull it back and trim it off just like before for a nice clean seam. And then do a nice finger press and press with it between the dotted lines with the iron. And there you go. It's getting easy, huh? You can see there's the first split diamond, the red on top, on the top half, and the second split diamond with the red on the top half. Alright, so this is what you're going to get. Look at these absolutely beautiful points and your beautiful split diamonds in this particular design. So what we did is we started with a regular rectangle here and for this specific layout, and then this is your first split diamond in this specific layout, but you could have that anywhere in your quilt. And it shows up again at the end of column 2. There it is again. And isn't that cool? You can see how color is used because the second half of the split diamond is the same as the background fabric, and therefore you get this really cool edge. And then the points on this particular layout again are not split diamonds. And then you can see again that you've got your split diamonds on this side. So those split diamonds can be put anywhere in your quilt, and you're going to have a great time.